Clark here at Killer Fun, back with another Daily Killer Sudoku solve video. This is puzzle 666. I've put chapter times in the description, so the YouTube play bar should allow you to skip my introduction if you're eager to get straight to the solve. This is an unusual puzzle in that it shows up in my analysis of the Daily Killer Sudoku puzzles quite often. Let's take a look at the puzzle statistics and where it places in my rankings. First off, the puzzle has been given a difficulty of 1 and has an average solve time of 38 minutes. It has been attempted 26,436 times, but only solved 9,518 times. Solvers have taken a hint or abandoned the puzzle 64% of the time. Due to the average solve time and abandonment ratio, my re-rank algorithm gives it a difficulty of 9. Because it is the 5th difficulty 1 puzzle on the Daily Killer Sudoku site, it has and will draw newer and less experienced solvers. While it is more difficult than the typical difficulty 1 puzzle, I think that these numbers are a bit skewed and 9 is high. Maybe it is a difficulty 4 or 5. If we had a representative sample of solvers, the average solve time and the abandonment ratio would both be lower. The grader calculator in the Killer Solver from SudokuWiki rates it as a 9.1 with a moderate grade. Please note that the 1 to 10 Daily Killer Sudoku scale does not correspond to the ratings at SudokuWiki. Puzzle 666 also shows up in 3 of my top 10 lists. 6th in the most attempts for difficulty 1 puzzles, 4th in the least percent solved for difficulty 1 puzzles, and 1st for the longest average solve time for a difficulty 1 puzzle. I found it a bit frustrating when I was first getting started with Killer Sudoku and at Daily Killer Sudoku when I was not able to solve a puzzle that I should have been able to solve by its difficulty rating. Hopefully this solve video will explain to those who end up stuck on 666 why, and give them some encouragement and hints if they want some help. I'm planning on doing so for many of the hardest puzzles in each difficulty that I have the ability to solve. Please follow along or give it a try first. There is a link to this puzzle in the description notes below. Let's solve puzzle 666. So out of the gate, we've got some interesting shapes here up in the upper left-hand corner. Got a 1 row, 1 outie. We have a 1 column, 1 outie rule of 45 that sums to 50. This spell must be a 5. And along the top row, we have another 1 row, 1 outie rule of 45 with a sum of 52. So 52 minus 45 is 7. 52 minus 45 is 7. And the remainder, 12 plus 9, is 21. So what about here? If we take out the 9s, the 7s, and the single 5, we get a 3, 6, 8. And up here, it's still in box 1, 38 is a rule of 45 sum to 38, so the remaining 3 cells must sum to 7, so that must be a 1 to 4 combination. So what does that do for us? Well, first off, we can't have a 4 in a 2-cell 8 cage, so this must be its partners, 1, 2 are 6 and 7. 3, 5 is not an option. And down here, we could have a 2, 4 to match the 2, 4, and a 5 to match the 1. We know there's a 4 here. There's not a 4 there. All right, let's fill in some of these gimmies. 2-cell 3 cages with 1 and 2. Is that it? I think that's all we've got. Here are some other rule of 45s. Box 5, 26 with 19 in 3 cells. That doesn't really help us. We know there's not a 1. Let's just display that for benefit of everyone. So there's not a 1 in a 3-cell 19 cage. So that would be this. Sorry, a 3-cell 19 sum. There's not a 1 in a 3-cell 19 sum. So the 1's got to be in one of those. '23, 5-cell 23 cage cannot have a 9, nor can it have a 5. All right, that's pretty good. So we need it's got to have a 3, 4. And an 8. So 3, 4, and an 8. And then whatever, we're going to trade a 1, 7, or a 6, 2. Here we go. 7, 9. We missed that one, which forces this to be an 8, 6, or 6, 8. If you're all about order. This 23 cage cannot contain a 9, nor can it contain a 7. 7. So again, we're down. There's got to be an 8 and a 6. Oh, that's nice. So we got a 6, 8 there. So the 6, 8's got to be there. And the 3. Well, the 1 or the 2 cannot be here. So the 1 or the 2 has to be here. So we've got a 6, 8 down here. And a 4 or a 5. Okay, so basically we trade off 6, 8, 4, 5. All right, if we've got a 6, 8 here, that means the 6 and the 8 are gone from there, and then the 2 gets rid of this. So this must be a 4, 7. That resolves this to a, we get rid of the 7 here, so that instead of 9, this one, we get rid of the 9. 7, 9. We don't know that that's exactly a 1, 2 pair. And we don't know that that's exactly a 6, 8. Clearly it needs one more. But did we clear out? Okay, so does this help us at all? D8. That's 13. I don't think that helped us. 7, 7, 7, 4. Oh, this. Here we have a 4-box, 2 any rule of 45. So we're shooting for a target of 180. That's 45 times 4. And the sum is 164. So to get 180, we need to add 16. That's nice because only one possible combination for a 16 sum, and that is 7, 9. And it can't have a 4. Beautiful. So this is not a possibility. So then the 7 also cannot be here because of these 7s. So since both of them have a 7, this is a 7. And that makes this a 9. So 7. So we've got 5, 9, or 6, 8. So this becomes a 14 cage. And we already have a 6 and an 8. So this is the 5, 9 with the 9 there. This is the 5 and this is the 9. This becomes a 14 sum. Got to get my nomenclature straight. So now we know 6 of the digits. We're missing a 3. So this is a 6, 8, 3, 3, 6, 8. And if this is a 3, 6, 8, this is a 1, 5, 2, 4. So we got 1, 2, 4, 5. We can get rid of the question mark. Oh, okay. 4, 7 gets rid of this 4. So this has got to be a 4. Setting this to a 2. Get rid of the 5, which makes this the 1, a 1, 5. And we're missing a 3 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're missing a 3 and a 4, but this has to be the 3 because of these 4s. This is the 4, so we can get rid of a 3 here. And 2. With this 7, this becomes a 6, so this is a 2, so this is a 1. So we have a 1, 4, 3, that's 8. Does that make this a 14? 8 and 14, yeah, 22. So this is not a 6, 8. If this is 14, this must be a 5, 9. Six, 8, 4, 7, 3, 6, 8, 3, 6, 8, 1, 2. I don't think there's anything we can do there. We have a 5, 8 now here, so this cannot be 7, 8. What? No, I filled that in wrong. 5, 9. Okay. So there's a 9 here and a 6 here, so this cannot be the 6, 9. Awesome. Good thing I've got that recorded. So we can clean up, maybe we can clean this up, we can, because of this 2. Now we know for sure this is the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, but the 7, 8's got to be down here in this portion, because it can't be here in this box, because we've already got a 7, 8 there. So we've got a 7, 8 with something else that we don't know. 1, 3, 4. Could be any of those. Can't be a 3 here. There has to be a 3 here. There's got to be a 3 there. So 1, 4, 7, 8. What about over here? Got 2 possibilities with a 9. Resell 17K. So it's either 1, 7, which it can't be because we know there's a 7 there. This 1, 7, 9 is not a possible candidate because we have this 1, 7, 9. This 1, 7, 9 is not a possibility because we already have a 7 in the box, so there cannot be a 7 there. So this must be the 2, 6, 9. And that helps us. I don't think we can resolve that. No. This is a 2, 6 pair. So this cannot be the 4, 6 option. And then we have a 7, 8. So this cannot be the 2-7 or the 2-8 or the 3-7. This is the 1-9 combination. And that forces the 1 here. So this is the 4-7-8. Get rid of the question mark now. 1-9. So we're missing 1, 2. We're missing a 3. So this must be the 3-5. So that cleans that up to 5-9 pair. 7-8. 7 here. So this is a 8-7 pair. And with a 1 and a 5 here, this must be the 2-4 with the 4 there. This is a 4-2. God, can you even type? 4-2. Click this off. This becomes the 2-6. And we can take the 6 out of that. Take the 3 out of that. 6 and the 3 looking left. So this becomes this one's a 3. 1, 9, 3, 5, 4, 7, 8. 2 here cleans this up. This is a 1, 2. 6, 8. 6. This 6 and this 8. Clean this up to a 6-8 pair. Anything else? 1, 2, 4, 7. How am I doing? Good. Good. All right. So we've done, I think, what is the easy part. Now, how do we break into these bottom right 4 cages? We've got this 1, 2. We've got this 7. About this 15. Yes. This 4-cell 15 cage cannot have a 1. That really limits things down to a 2, 3, 4, 6. So the 2's not here. Nor is it here. Nor is the 4 here. Look at this. 1. So this is a 3. This is a 1. So 3. So this must be the 6. So this is 2, 3, 4, but that's not a 2. So we got a 2 here, and then we've got a 3, 4 all around. So this must be a 2. So that is not a 2, and that's a 2. 6 can come out of that. So that's some progress. We talked about this being, as I recall, this being a 3-cell 19 thumb, which cannot contain a 1. All right, how about this? Can't have a 7 in it. Does that help us at all? 3-cell 10 thumb without a 7? Help us a little bit. What else can we eliminate from what's above? 8. Well, this one. This can also not contain a 7. That's a little bit better. We're looking at these 2 7s here in columns 4 and 5, looking into these different. Sorry, I just had a pop up. Let's get rid of that. Looking into these 2 cages, they can't have 7s. It's better here. But still, so it's got a 9 or an 8. 9, 8. I don't know if that really helps. This 16 cage can also not contain a 7 because of these 2. So row 5, column 5. So it cannot have a 7. not really all that great. Kind of stalled out here. Are we going to get lucky on this? Cannot contain a 9. Whoopee. Has to contain a 2, and the 2 has to be here. These 2's force the 2 there. That's a little better. We've already eliminated the 9's, and then anything that does not contain a 2 going to be tossed right out. Nothing common there. If we get rid of one of them, we'll have some commonality. 6. Down here. I never looked at this rule of 45. Box 9. That's not bad. Okay. So these 6 cells sum to 35, leaving 10. Since this cage must contain all the digits 1 to 9, which sum to 45. You're unaware that that's how Sudoku works. So a 2 must contain a 2. No. Let's try that again. Let's put a 10 cage, a 10 sum. 3 cell 10 sum. Let's put a 3 cell 10 sum in the calculator. And it's got to have a 2. So there's there's 2 combinations. 2 combinations that have a 2. A 2, 3, 5, and a 1, 2, 7. So this could be a, let's try that again. 1, 7, 3, 5. I don't really think that's very helpful at all. So this cannot contain a 2, no biggie. Also, these cannot contain a 2. It can also not contain a 9. That helps us a little bit more. Anything else? How about a 6? So these 2 9's are looking right and down into the 16 cage. 9, 5, 7, 2, 6, 9. This 21 cage cannot contain a 2. Yeah. It can also not contain a 9. Okay, there we go. Now we're talking. So this 23 cell 21 cage has 9 looking in from row 4, looking left, and looking right from row 5. So rows 4 and 5 looking in. Actually, we only need 1 9 to block that thing out, don't we? This 9 gets it in the box, prevents 9's from being there because of the box, and it prevents it from being in the row as well. So 1 9 will suffice to eliminate the 9's as possible, any possible combination that contains a 9 from this 3 cell 21 cage. So this must be a 6, 7, and 8. Cannot have a 7 there. We can have 7 there. We cannot have a 6 here. We can have 6's here. This 6 limits the 6's, and this 7. Oh, no, it's this 7. This 7 limits the 7's, and there's no 8 limiting it at all. So any way around, we could have an 8. But we must have a 6 here, so there cannot be a 6 in this. Lovely. 2, 4, 5, 8. So there's no 8 there, but there's an 8 here. And about 5s, there's a 4, so we can put 4s. There's a 4 there, so let's put the 4s here. And I think we're just going to fill it with 5s because there's no 5s that I can see that are doing anything to it. But the 8s here do a cool thing to this 21 cage. Get rid of the 8s there. So this becomes the 7 and this becomes the 8, which eliminates the 8 here. So that's the 5. So we can get rid of the 5s here. 2, 4, 8 triple, which leaves a 1, 3, I believe. So this is a 1, 3 pair. That resolves this to a 5 and this to a 1. So 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. 1 looking in. Get rid of this 2 means we can get rid of the 2 there. 4, 8, 2, 4. Well, 1 and 3, we can get rid of the 1, 3 here. So this is a 1, 7 or a 3, 5. And if that's the case, we can get rid of the 5, 7 here because the 1 and the 7, so this 7 needs a partner 1, and this 5 in the 2, 3, 5 needs a partner 3. Both of these have a 2 here. So that's a little better. I like that more than just the number soup that we had before. Get rid of the 7 here. 7, 4, 8, 4, 7, 8. And this will help us. So the only remaining candidates in row 4 are 1 and 6. We have a 1 and a 6 up here to help us order those. Let me just make sure I didn't miscalculate. So that's a 1 and a 6. So that needs a 3 to make a 10. 2, 4, 8. 16. So those are all in box 5. And box 5 has a 1 and a 6 and an 8. What about a 3? A 3. It does have a 3. 2, 5, 9. So this is 2, 5, 9. Got a 2 there. So the 2s can go here. 5s, because of, so the 2s go here because of this 2. This 5 forces the 5s there. And the 9 can just go. But that leaves 2 cells that don't have digits. So we got a 4 and a 7, I believe. This 4 forces this to be the 7 and this to be the 4. Help here. So this is now, oh, and the 3. Well, so this is a 2. This is a 2. So the 2 is out of that. So this is a 3, 4 pair. 2, 5, 9. Triple, but the 2. So this is a 5, 9, 2, 9, 2, 5, 9. The 9 there gets rid of the 9s. The 5 there gets rid of the 5, and the 2 there gets rid of the 2. 4 makes this a 2. And it gets rid of the 2 there. 4, 8. 1, 3 still. Oh, with a 5, 9. So this is a 5. 3, 4. So 4, 5 is 9. That requires an 8 to be here. And I don't see an 8. And I don't see an 8 here. So that's good. 8. So we get rid of the 8. Then we got a 3, 6, 8. 3, 6, 8. Nothing else. So 8. We don't have a 5 here. So that resolves this 2 cell 8 cage to a 1, 7. Get rid of the 5. And this, we can get rid of the 3. So 1, 7. That makes this a 3. and this a 1, which cleans this up to a 1-9 or a 9-1 pair. 3, 5, 4, 8. This 3. So this is a 5, 3, 4, 8, 4, 8. So this is a 4, 8 as well. Um, 3, 8, 4, 8, 4, 7. Ooh. 19 cage. Clear that out so I'm not distracted. So a 3-cell 19 cage cannot have a 1, 7, or a 2. I'll get rid of the 2 earlier. It doesn't never have a 1, so it's a 4, 6. So 6 is common there. With the 6 here, 6 cannot be there, so this is a 6. Doesn't help us up the board. Oh, it does help us over the board. Looking left, we can set this to a 3. And we get rid of the 3 in those. We already set the 8, and this becomes the 6. So that turns this into 4. And 10 plus 9 is 19. So this must be a 4, 7, 8. We've already got a 7, so that's a 4, 8. If we have a 4, 8, 4, 8, this becomes the 7. And this is the 4, 8. If that's a 7, we can get rid of the 7 there. That's a 4, 8 pair, 4, 8 pair. So this is now 3, 5, 5, 3. That's an 8, and there's a 5 there. So this must be a 3, 5. So this must be the 8. And that resolves this to 4, and this back to an 8. So we've got an 8. Oh, actually, we have a 3 here. So this is 4. That's a 3. 4 here makes this a 7, and this 4. Not quite there, but let's turn this to an 8 and that into a 4. 4, let's try that again. A 4. And 7 and 3 is 10, so this must be a 9. Thanks for sticking around to the end of my solve video for Daily Killer Sudoku Puzzle 666. I would love it if you would leave a constructive or positive comment down below. Liking and subscribing would also help me out and get you more killer fun in your feed. Until next time, always be solving.